Welcome back everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to rock a few key aspects of 90s makeup. I'm going to start with one of my favorites, which is Bow and Arrow by Kat Von D, which is just a really nice, cool neutral brown. If you have a warmer skin tone than mine, you can just start with a warmer brown, like let's say Lolita. Into this, I'm going to add Walk This Way by Nars, which is this pretty sort of peachy color, which I really rather like. It's very strong, so I'm going to take just a tiny dot of it. Now that we've got this delicious sort of peachy brown tawny base, I'm going to come in with Charlotte Tilbury's JK Magic, and I'm just going to go right on top of that. It's this sort of pretty toffee brown. Just a bit in the middle. You can see that's a really delicious sort of 90s color. Just gonna buff it out. So I think that's step one to a really great, good-looking 90s look. I think the next thing you have to think about when it comes to the 90s is a serious eyeliner. When I was a kid, I remember my mom gave me this, I think it was a YSL brown eyeliner, and it was waterproof. And I remember I used to swim every day, and I used to wear this brown eyeliner even in the pool. So I was that kid. But I did find that as an adult even, I'll often use brown eyeliner, and it was something that we did in the 90s quite a lot. So this is the Makeup Designory Cake Eyeliner in brown, and I'm just going to give myself a very 90s eyeliner. I love how cake eyeliners behave. I love how smooth it is. '90s liner didn't have a lot of wing. It was quite close to the eye. And just a bit of a wing. I mean, I always had a bit of a wing because I was always, a Marilyn fan. But I did do quite a thick eyeliner. I like to put on cake eyeliner quite wet. I find when it sets, it's quite amazing that way. Okay, now let's take a deep breath and try and make some matching happen. The other advantage with cake eyeliner is because it's water soluble, when you make a mess, you get a bit thick, you can just wipe it right off. And in the 90s, I did often do, you know, sort of that cool brown kind of smoky look. But I often rocked a liner just on its own. One of our other favorite tricks was to take a cool grayish sort of eyeshadow and put it in our socket line. So I'm just going to take this Ardell brow color and just pop that in my socket line. That was always a little trick I used. Just for a little oomph. Just a little sweep on the lid. The other thing we were really into was dark eyebrows, so I'm coming in with the darkest brown eyeshadow I have, and I'm wetting it. I'm giving myself some 90s brows. Yes! I love a 90s brow. I love a strong, sculpted, serious brow. Because they were thinner, you could get away with filling them. I can get away with that because I have thin 90s brows kind of naturally. I think it's quite a fun look. Make sure it's a nice sharp shape. This look is not about subtlety. And then I'm going to come in with a matte face powder and tidy. Since it's the 90s, I'm using a Kevyn Aucoin eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to make this brow as high contrast as I can. So now we've got our 90s brown eyes, we've got our strong 90s liner, we've got the base of our 90s lipstick. To this we need to add some juicy pink, of course, and I'm going to use Pink Fling by Maybelline that I have talked to you guys about many times. I'm going right in with it. This combo of brown and pink is just classic 90s. The other thing the 90s was known for, it was the era of very great warm contouring. So the sort of cooler, grayier contouring is not something we saw a lot. We were really into warmth. So I'm going to use a nice warm face powder to just contour my face. A perfect color to use to get yourself a 90s contour is this MAC Bone Beige. I usually use a face powder, but I just remembered this color and I think it's going to be just right, and I'm 100% right about that. Hello 90s face. I think I'm just going to sweep that right across the eyelid too for a little extra prettiness. And I'm going to take that same bone beige on a small brush and take it under my eye. I think that's just going to add a beautiful little bit of warmth to the underneath of my eyes. Hello 90s. Such a great time. I think it's super important to look back and learn the lessons of great makeup that every decade has to offer. And I think the 90s is proving itself to be something that is classic and timeless. And it was a really great moment in makeup. We had amazing makeup artists just creating magic, creating brands from Kevin Aucoin to Laura Mercier to Francois Nars. It was such an amazing moment where makeup as a true art form really popped, and you can see it in so many great videos from the time, like Janet Jackson in the Herb Ritts directed black and white video. You just see great makeup throughout that time. Prince's backup dancers in Cream are another example of a classic 90s look, and of course, anytime you see Cindy Crawford, that's the one. It's time for giveaway number 3, and it's all about the lips. Starting with this fantastic Nars Powermatte Lip Pigment, which I showed you in a previous video. Craving, which I think is epic for our skin tone. Maybelline Pink Fling, which I live by and you can't get in Pakistan. Fenty, of course, Uncuffed. It's such a great color for us. And we are spoiling you again with Pat McGrath. You've got Executive Realness, Elson 2, and Softcore. Don't forget, you can still enter the other giveaways too. To enter, all you have to do is to subscribe and leave a comment, question, or product recommendation below. I hope you had fun with that, and I hope you try some of these tricks at home. They really are going to see you into a really great place with your makeup. Please like and subscribe, and thank you as always for watching. Much love.